god, you guys. I'm literally breaking a sweat. I just had a little bit of complications with my mic, but it's okay. Let me catch my breath. You guys, I don't know how long I walked, but I know it wasn't probably about a mile away. I know I walked like a mile. Well, it doesn't matter how much I walk because I just broke a sweat. And I didn't bring any water. I just have a peach. So don't mind if I do. Somebody's skateboarding. Yo. When I had just moved here to Houston, I remember it was my first time at HEB. And I remember having a peach. And it was so yummy. And this reminds me of the first peach I had when I moved here to Houston. I thought I brought a candle, but I didn't. So, let's get straight to it. Today, if I'm being quite honest, I do not have anything specific to talk about. But I came with a lot on my heart, and I don't know, things have just been so different for me lately. And there's just something that keeps coming to my mind about everything being a prayer. I was talking to my client about 2 weeks ago, and what we were talking about kind of stuck with me because I was mentioning that I feel like everything is a prayer, even what other people think of you, and which is how you come with these topics. I mean, these labels of what evil eye means. Oh, that's cute. What evil eye means, what witchcraft is when somebody does witchcraft on you. But something as simple as somebody saying any kind of words to you is the prayer itself. And when I say witchcraft, I believe that everything is witchcraft, right? This is a craft, and I don't necessarily know the origin of where witch comes, but I do feel like this demonizing perspective of it, specifically towards women who have access to their intuition and know how to create life and how to bring something into existence, which is what I perceive being a witch means. So, prayer. Anyway, the story that my client told me was something about his coworker and how he knows that she's in her head about him. And he was just like, oh, it's just bothering me. I can feel her in her head. And I don't know how, sentences later, now it just said something along the lines of that's prayer. That's her. You know, and a lot of people, that's why it's really important to call your energy back, to make sure that when you do feel somebody else's perception of you, that you don't continue on with the story, that you don't feed into it, that you don't create the next line. You just simply, and what's been helping me a lot is Control Alt Delete. Control Alt Delete. It helps me approach my mind from a way that's not an emotion. I'm not oh well, I'm gonna stop thinking about this, and then I'm creating more shame around the fact that I'm having a hard time deleting a thought or a perception of somebody else of me, from somebody else of me. So Control Alt Delete. If you have never tried it, I think you should give it a shot. As soon as you have this thought or yeah, just something that's really bothering you, a storyline that keeps replaying in your head that isn't for your greatest good, that's clearly taking a lot of energy from you. If you feel like the fogginess and you feel exhaustion around it, Control Alt Delete. Control Alt Delete. And I had told my client that that's technically a prayer, right? When somebody has this story of you, is the prayer itself. Which is why they say, like, if you ever want to be successful, find a woman that loves you. Because when a woman loves you, and when a woman loves her man, or this can go both ways, because prayer isn't just for women, right? Women aren't the only ones who are the witches, or I don't even know what a warlock is, but my educated guess on that is that a warlock is the male version of a witch. So and I've never read up on that. This is just like, what you see on social media and what you read on about it a little bit. But I kind of lost myself. Give me a second. It'll come back to me. That's a good peach. Oh, yeah. Men can also help their women in prayer by believing in what their wife wants to do. But this, I feel like collectively we can understand more it being the woman supporting the man, specifically because we live under systems that kind of just like paint that picture. I don't necessarily understand that much, but there's a lot of layers to it. But anyway, to continue to my point, prayer. So that's why they tell you to get a woman that loves you, because when a woman loves you and she has a good intention towards you, that isn't just there for the money, that really loves you and wants to see you succeed and wants to multiply with you, she's naturally gonna be in the greatest form of prayer, which is prayer isn't supposed to be, and y'all, I just started praying, like, for real, more intentionally, maybe for the last year. Maybe, if I'm like really just like making the math simple. But I used to try to pray, or like I would see people praying growing up, and I know that when I was growing up, the idea that I had of prayer was, okay, you get down on 2 knees, you put your little hands together, and you say, "Hi God, thank you for the food." Honestly, sometimes I would even just like bad thoughts or like bad words would come to like my words as I'm trying to express myself at the time, and I would even be like, "Shit, my bad. Oh damn." Now I understand that prayer is authenticity. Prayer is living in your truth. Prayer is what your belief systems are and what you are embodying, because your belief systems, your values, where you come from, cultural backgrounds, all of these are a base that turn into words. We use words and labels to describe what we're feeling, what we mean, what we're trying to express at the moment, which is why sometimes, that's why communication in relationships, it's so important, because sometimes we're saying the same thing. We're not saying the same thing, but we mean the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever had that with a partner when you like you guys kind of have like an aha moment, like, oh my gosh, you've been saying the same thing that I have been trying to say, but we're just saying it in different ways, so it took us like a cool little 30 minutes to clear it up, you know what I mean? Because we're constantly trying to find the words to express what we're really, really feeling. Yeah, prayer. I've gotten a lot better with praying, though. I don't feel so, like, robotic. I don't feel like I'm just, like, trying to hide something anymore. I feel like I can actually speak from a space that no longer holds shame. And if it does, I'm willing to, like, feel it and, like, be honest with myself about it. Because I realize that, like, God doesn't, like... I imagine it in a way where you're going up to God, and if you don't know how to pray, that's okay. Or there's no right or wrong way to know how to pray, but if you feel like you don't know how to pray, if you don't feel that connection towards praying, then I feel like we overanalyze that sometimes, and we forget, like, sometimes prayer is just sitting still, sometimes prayer is just silence. And feeling your body and understanding where it's coming from. Crying. Tuning into that gut feeling or that anxiousness that you feel in your chest and just breathing through it. Not rushing to find words for it, right? Not rushing to find the right words to pray, to try to come perfect to God, to try to overcompensate for the silence. That's prayer for me specifically. It's such a liberating way to be because I've noticed that I no longer have to, like, the more I was coming to God this way, the more I could show up like this in real time with the people in my life. It became easier for me to not put a mask on, to not, even like small white lies that just kind of like come out of your mouth and you're just like, what the did I say that? Why did I say that? I didn't mean that. Or, you get to just show up better because behind closed doors, you're actually like looking at yourself and showing up for yourself that in ways that no one else is gonna like do for you. No one, that therapy can't give you, that those pills cannot give you, that subscription cannot give you. Nothing else can give you that. That's why people be saying, like, that's why when people finally feel like what we say, the Holy Spirit, or finally feel like all these labels, right, of belief systems and religions, when they finally feel that, no matter what label it is, they feel so passionate about it because they understand that nothing else can come to you like God can come. Nothing else can nothing else can fulfill you the way God can fulfill you. And honestly, I used to be that person. Like, as soon as somebody would talk about God, and I feel, okay, a little older version of me would have felt ashamed of that, but that is my honesty. You know what I mean? At some point, I did feel a bit weird about people talking about God, and I don't even know why. I don't know if it's because my parents never really planted that seed in me. They never really talked about God. We weren't churchgoers. We never prayed for our food outside of it, like, being Thanksgiving. Like, there was no intention into stuff. So, yeah, I don't know why I said that. I wonder... Oh, what is this? my gosh. A spider just got on me, y'all. And you know what I was about to say? That's crazy. I was about to say, I wonder if ants like peaches, because sometimes I like to give a small little offering. Like, here you go, ants. I don't know if humans ever treat you well. Specifically for y'all, if some humans have ever treated you well in life. I hope today is a day. You know what? I remember a human giving me a peach. I don't even know if ants have memories like that. And I might cut this out, because what the fuck am I talking about? What am I talking about? Speaking of ants. Let me stop leaning on this tree. I probably have a bunch of stuff on me. But, yeah, I don't really have much other to say. I'm going to wrap this up. Clearly, I tried something different today. If you watched this far, I really appreciate it. Yeah. Follow me for more. Bye.